What on earth is this? Well, I'll give you a clue. It works with this. Hi, I'm Ash from DroningON. Now, the Osmo Pocket is a lovely little 3-axis stabilised camera. However, one thing you'll notice with any 3-axis gimbal is that you'll never avoid the Z axis, which is that bobbing effect. And that's because when you're walking along holding a 3-axis gimbal like this, naturally your arm is moving up and down. That's known as the Z axis, and the very, very expensive gimbals actually have catering for that axis stabilization as well. But little ones like this don't. So we need another solution. Now, one of them is called the Ninja Walk, which you'll probably have heard of already. And that's when you walk without trying to move your upper body up and down. But it takes a while to master, and it does look a bit silly in public. And that's where this new product from StartRC might just help. Let's take a look. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Now, the latest price on this I think is around £30 or about $35. Have a look at the link in the video description, click that, and that's where you'll find the latest price. Inside we've got a phone bracket, we've got an instruction manual, and also in this soft bag we've got the Stabiliser. And this is what it looks like. So quite an unusual looking contraption. We've got a spring under here, and it's kind of got like a like a jaw in a way. You hold this unusual looking contraption like that, and it's got a number of adjustments on it, which I think suggests that probably you can use this with other cameras as well. So you secure the holding handle initially like that, so that we can now hold it. And you can see that this is spring loaded here, and there is an adjuster on top as well. Now, the idea is that you take your Osmo Pocket now, and you install it in the front here. And obviously you want the screen of the Osmo Pocket facing you as well, so make sure you put it in the right way around. And then the Osmo Pocket sits in it like that. Now, the great thing about this is you can still access all of the buttons on the front of the Osmo Pocket, and you can see the screen clearly as well. So now the instructions say that you adjust this adjuster on top until the whole contraption is basically horizontal when you're holding it. So you can see that as I'm turning this, this actually is ascending upwards. That looks pretty horizontal now, and you can see that basically it, it looks quite bizarre. But as I move this up and down to simulate walking, the end bounces up and down to hopefully stabilize that 4th axis. So the other adjustment I actually set when I unboxed this, but you could actually undo this adjuster here, and I see no reason why you couldn't then rotate this handle 180 degrees so that you're actually holding it like that instead. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work in exactly the same way. So really personal preference as to how you want to hold this. So the idea of this is that as you're walking, your arm naturally is going to move up and down. And that's why you'll hear this thing called the Ninja Walk, where you walk without trying to move your upper body up and down. This hopefully will overcome that. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to film it with the Osmo Pocket, and I'm then going to film it with the Osmo Pocket attached to this, and we'll put the two side by side to see if there's any difference. So I started with an indoor test and a basic wander through the house at a slow pace. First of all, filming with the Osmo Pocket on its own. Naturally, the Osmo Pocket mechanical stabilisation is very good, but you do notice the slight bounce as I'm walking, and that's the issue that we're trying to solve here. Next, with the Stabiliser now attached to the Osmo Pocket, and I walk through at precisely the same pace again, I do notice a very slight improvement here, but it is minimal, and for the extra fuss of connecting it all, it doesn't seem quite worthwhile at this point. Now the two shots side by side, just to demonstrate that minor improvement. At half speed, the difference is there, but without this contraption, and if you mastered the Ninja Walk, you probably wouldn't need it right now. Next, it's the outdoor test, and I found a really rough and bumpy little side road. Walking down it firstly with the Osmo Pocket on its own again. The result is very good considering the state of this bumpy road. Now, with the stabiliser attached to the Osmo Pocket, and for me personally, I don't really see much difference again between these two shots, far less so than with the indoor test. Now, side by side, and not perfectly aligned unfortunately, but proof that the stabiliser really hasn't had much of a positive impact here. Finally, a running test, jumping downstairs and across the decking with the Osmo Pocket on its own initially. The Pocket without the stabiliser actually does a brilliant job, and I'm really surprised. Next, with the stabiliser attached, and to be honest, it's just a bit awkward and clumsy, because as I'm running and jumping, it's bouncing all over the place, and from the footage, I see no improvement. Watching the two clips back side by side, you see that both instances suffer from shock as I jump off the decking, but there really isn't any difference or improvement when using the stabiliser. So that's the outdoor test of this 4th axis stabiliser. What did you think about the footage comparison? Do comment below and let me know. But my opinion of it is that it's a nice idea, but it just doesn't work, and I don't think it actually improves the stability. The problem is that most gimbals are active, and what that means is that you've actually got a motor and sensors responsible for controlling that axis. Therefore, it detects when you're moving up and down, and it knows how much to compensate by. The problem with this is it's just a spring, and so basically you end up with so much bouncing here that actually it interferes with the natural gimbal stability, and the Osmo Pocket doesn't handle shock very well at all. And as you saw from the footage comparison when I was running, that really demonstrates it. So my opinion is stick to the Ninja Walk and get that perfected, because right now this just doesn't work for me.